1/3 of the pop rock band Busted in their heyday. They had 4 number ones, won 2 Brit Awards and performed around the world. But it was on tour that Matt Willis's addiction ran out of control. Today, he's 5 years clean and recently released a tell-all documentary about his journey. So talking about that, his future plans and why he's making it his mission to help others, give a very warm welcome to Matt Willis.
Hi, good to meet you. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Oh, yeah, really good.
I sit in the middle. It feels
I know.
quite nice.
Well, listen, before we talk all about everything we're going to talk about, I have to say, she goes on and on about Annie Palmer all the time now. You've been in EastEnders 3 times, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I was rollerblader number 2. I was boy thrown out of nightclub. I was, I can't remember my character's name.
Luke.
Isn't that bad? Luke.
Stacey Slater's ex.
Yes,
that was it.
Stacey Slater.
Did you ever get a doof, doof, doof?
I think we did get a doof, doof, doof.
Oh, there you go. That's where it's at.
Yeah, there you go. I just had to do that just to sort of shut her up a little bit. So your documentary, which we've all watched, Fighting Addiction, it was a very, very powerful piece about your journey and your family's journey, really.
Yeah.
What was the reaction to it?
I mean, it's been, if I'm honest, I was terrified putting it out. You know, we saw so many different edits and kind of different ways of doing it. And, I mean, we went to so many places, so many different centres and so many different kind of rehabs and kind of different things that people were using to help themselves. But then whenever we put it in, it kind of took away from what was the heart of the story, which I think was the kind of missed talking point, was the fact that it's not always just about the addict, it's about the kind of ripple effect of that on the people that love them. You know, and I think that was kind of what was the heart of the story in a way. And through that, we were able to kind of tell those stories of what addiction is and what it's not, and kind of, you know, through a bit more of an empathetic eye.
It's one thing you wanted to tell your story, but then it's Emma's story too.
Absolutely, yeah, completely. And she was, if I'm honest, she was reluctant to come on at the beginning. She
I can understand that.
Yeah, and there's something about kind of dredging up the past, you know. I mean, in our relationship, it's not like we didn't ever talk about that stuff, but it was kind of, that was then and this is now, and we move forward.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like Pandora's box.
You don't want to go through life with wing mirrors.
Exactly, you know, keep kind of looking at the past. But by doing that and kind of going through it, it was amazing for us. Like, we've kind of come out of it so much stronger. We've talked about so many things that we never have talked about and should have, maybe, you know, and we'll definitely should have. And it's made us so much stronger.
But it was also amazing for other people, wasn't it? Because you got a great reaction to it from the public, didn't you?
Yeah, it's been kind of overwhelming, the kind of reaction, you know. But I think that's the thing. It's like, for me, I've learnt the most in recovery from talking to other people who have gone through it and kind of learning their stories and kind of relating to them, getting kind of strength and hope from different people. And this was just a much larger scale that we got to do that on, you know. So and I've been getting those messages through kind of from people that help.
It's kind of like root. My husband is also sober. He's been 18 years sober.
18 years, wow, amazing.
So it was very, very powerful for us. We were in tears at many points through it. But what I was struck by, because it was very helpful to me going to Al-Anon and these, I was really struck by the fact that Emma had done this like on her own. Because as they say, isn't it? It's like, look for the similarities, not the differences in what other people.
Absolutely.
And that can be so healing.
Yeah.
I really wanted to know whether that's something now that she finds comfort in other meetings and sharing those.
No, she hasn't.
It's harder if you're off the telly, though. Let's be honest. It is harder.
Exactly. She hasn't. But we've done kind of couples counselling and things, and it's going to be much more open and honest about things, and the things that I do, which I don't realise, which still trigger her from those days.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not drinking and using drugs anymore, but I'm still. It's all behaviour with me. You know,
it's the white knuckling days,
exactly,
isn't it?
Yeah. So it's like, and for her, it's like she was always scared to bring things up in case it kind of made me spiral. You know, when actually it does the opposite, because I'm at a point now where I'm just like,
let's put it on the table and talk about it.
I love you're not on the eggshells anymore. It's authentic and it's
I love that you had this real quest to find out, you know, where does this ism come from? And you've now got a podcast, so I'm really excited to start listening to that.
Yeah.
With all sorts of people talking about addiction and mental health issues, is that right?
Yeah, kind of lots of different issues. I mean, it sparked for me because through addiction, really, I kind of wanted to carry on these conversations I was having. And I had so many incredible, insightful conversations with people. A lot of them didn't, unfortunately, make the edit. But then it was, I just wanted to carry that on. And I'm so inquisitive about it. I'm a nightmare. I'm just researching and reading stuff all the time. And I wanted to talk to these people. And there's something about getting in a room for a couple of hours and just going, right, let's find out everything. And there's something about that which opens the other person up as well.
Yeah.
And then in turn I can open up, and it shows me more about myself. It shows everyone more about them. You know, so there's lots of
Podcast very intimate as well.
Yeah.
So it's a much easier way to talk. But tell me about your kids, because you've got a 14-year-old, haven't you? So who obviously would have been very aware of all of this. How did you prepare her for all of it?
I mean, that was a worry for me, because she's at an age now where I was like, she's got to watch it. You know, and she knows, like, Daddy doesn't drink, you know, and I've always kind of said things like, it doesn't suit me, or, you know, I'm not very good at that, you know, and those kind of things, kind of brushing it off. But then we watched it together. Me and Emma watched it with Isabel. We kind of took her upstairs, we watched it together. And it was a beautiful, amazing experience, because obviously she knew much more than I thought she did.
Yeah.
You know, and she asked the most incredible, kind of intelligent questions. And I think that's the thing with kids, is that we kind of try to kind of shelter them from the bad stuff, you know, to protect them in some way. But actually, she was so ready for it, and she kind of knew what to ask.
You know what? She'll be so in awe of what you do, because it's not
So
easy to
proud
be a
of
sober person
Yeah.
in a world where we have to apologise for not drinking. You know, and you know, our daughters. I watched the pride in their dads. So you've got all that.
Yeah.
You've got all that teeth, haven't you?
And you've been trekking with our Frankie.
I have, yeah. I made her get in a wheelie bin full of ice.
Oh, good.
Talked about.
She deserves it, that child.
Yeah.
This was the Coppafeel trek. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I did one a few years ago, and it was the most amazing experience I've had in a long time. It was so incredible. And we did like 100 kilometres through up and down mountains and things with this amazing group of women and some men who've been affected by breast cancer in some way. And it's just, there's something about walking and talking, which is just the most beautiful experience. And I feel really honoured to be part of it, because I kind of get to experience these conversations which I would normally have no place in, you know, and I get to kind of be a part of them, and people tell me things, and I'm like, wow, this.
How are your feet at the end of it, though?
Absolutely ruined.
Yeah.
Still got blisters and
So
scars.
that mindful experience, you're going back out with Busted.
Yeah.
Is there a little worry there? Because obviously rock and roll. Are you worried about that being a bit of a trigger?
It's been troublesome for me in the past.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say to me, you know, like, I always hear the term, you know, you go to the barber's, you'll get your hair cut, you know, and it's kind of like, but I feel really...
What does that mean?
Well, if you keep going to the barber's, eventually you'll get your hair cut.
Oh, right.
You know, so you kind of... sorry, that's a recovery term. You know, so you keep hearing these things, and if you put yourself in dangerous situations, it's dangerous. You know, but I'm really strong in what I want and what I don't want, and what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. And
It's different this time, because you've laid it all on the table, haven't you? There's no hiding.
Yeah, there's no hiding. And you know, in a band, it's a really weird relationship, because you're not brothers, you're friends, but you're not colleagues. You're kind of this weird mismatch of all three. But at the root of it, we love each other in some weird way that we never show. You know, so it's but we do, you know, and so they want me to be well, and they want me to be happy, and I want them to be well and happy. And so there's certain parameters that
And they'll be keeping an eye on you.
they'll be keeping. I think everyone's going to be keeping.
That must be so annoying.
There's no hiding place now.
Now, put the dock out. Everyone's like, "What are you up to?"
Yeah.
All right. Just get the
Good to feel the love. There.
Exactly,
Good to feel
definitely.
That respect and love.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, listen, it's been lovely to have you
So
with us. It
lovely.
really has.
Thanks.
Fighting Addiction's a documentary.
Thank you for your fantastic
a
documentary.
great piece, really worth watching. And On the Mend is the podcast. Matt Willis, everyone.